We are live, ladies and gentlemen, and yes, it is January the 20th, 2026, which means this channel is officially 10 years old. Where has the time gone? That's right, that perfect 10 for you. It's been a roller coaster, many ups and downs, but I tell you what, if you've watched this channel for a minute, if you've watched it for a week, for a year, or the full 10, massive thank you for giving this channel a go and some support. And I can tell you there is a massive update coming to this channel, which we will be sharing at the end of the video. And to be honest, NXT doesn't know too much about it either. So, yeah, be interesting to go into. But first, but first and foremost, it is Saturday night's main event this weekend. There are 3 matches we are going to discuss. I'm going to ask, first off, I'm going to go through the match card very quickly for you. And I'll be asking which match you're most looking forward to. We've got a fatal 4-way to determine the number 1 contender for Drew McIntyre's WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. We've got Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, Damien Priest, and Trick Williams in that fatal 4-way. We have the Women's Tag Team Championships on the line. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, the new champions. Rio taking on Judgment Day members Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. And last but not least, this one too was quite unpredictable. Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu. So yeah, only 3 matches at the time of recording. I'm expecting a 4th, maybe a 5th to be added later in the day. But I think we have to wait for SmackDown for those to be announced. And it's literally the day before. So yeah, we're getting our predictions in nice and early now. But which match of those ones would you say you're most looking forward to?
I mean, the Fatal 4-Way's probably got the most attention around it just because someone gets a title shot out of it, and the fact that you've got people like Trick Williams in it, and it's kind of like a great way to, do you know what I mean, put him on the main event stage like this. He's got more in 2 weeks than Carmella has in a year, do you know what I mean? So I don't expect him to win, early spoiler announcement, but yeah, I think that it's just a great way to, there's a great variation of people in there, and it's just a great way to showcase some people. In terms of hype for the show, though, I would say, I mean, look, a lot of the card is probably predictable more than anything. I think it's a case of this should be one of those shows where we should have a really good wrestling show. This is what it should be. I think that the card has the potential to be a really good wrestling show. I just don't think, well, I wouldn't hype myself up in terms of shocks or spoilers for it, unless, you know, certain Chris Jericho comes back.
That was in my asking later in the video. We won't waste any time on that. Montreal, Canada. Many are suspecting that surprises in Saudi for the Royal Rumble won't be happening because it's hard to get people into Saudi and it not be known. So is Saturday night's main event the right place for Chris Jericho to return? It's in Canada. It's in Montreal.
I mean, SmackDown or Saturday night's main event made the most amount of sense. No, it's going to get the biggest pop. It is the right place to do it.
I think Saturday night's main event is the place to do it. SmackDown would label him to a brand. Saturday night's main event doesn't, and that way you can get to the Rumble, and then we can see after that if he's going to be a Raw SmackDown guy. So yeah, I think Saturday night's main event is personally the way to go. But let's dive into it. But just before we do, Fatal 4-Way is the match I'm most looking forward to. Surprise, surprise. So let's kick it off with that one. Yeah, like I said, Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, Damien Priest, Trick Williams, all winning qualifying matches on SmackDown. And of course, the winner of this Fatal 4-Way will take on Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble, which leaving those spaces up there for a minute. And I just want to quickly go through them a little bit because, as I mentioned, this show's in Canada. Sami Zayn is obviously from Canada, which sometimes can work for you or against you. Obviously, that could lead to Sami going to Saudi as well, which you have a fairly hometown kind of pop as well. Randy Orton, close to Cody Rhodes, would feel kind of good from that revenge aspect. Damien Priest, a rival for Drew McIntyre last year, and of course, winning the steel cage match on a previous Saturday night's main event. Trick Williams, completely new to the roster, is the one heel in the match, so great for showcase. But I kind of agree with you. Early spoiler for me, I don't see him picking up the win, but I don't see him being pinned either in this match. I perhaps maybe see his future rival being determined in this match, which possibly rules out Damien Priest for me as well. Thoughts and feelings on this Fatal 4-Way, and feel free, you can share your prediction as well.
I hate to say it, but I think we're getting all our eggs in one basket with this weekend, and I think that I think Sammy's going to win it just because it's in Canada, and I don't think Sammy's going to get. I don't think he's going to get that world title shot or that world title win that I think everyone's expecting, and I think this is kind of WWE saving face by having him win this in Canada, just so he can then go and lose in Saudi. I think this is essentially what they're trying to do. In terms of who would take a pinfall out of this, I mean, like, Priest hasn't really done anything for the longest time, so maybe I could see him taking the pin, but he's not really. Him, and Randy and Sami are all like baby faces, so you'd expect Trick to take the pinfall in this. But then I think Trick has got such a high platform at the minute that I don't know if they'd want him to be pinned. So it's a hard one to say in terms of who gets pinned, but man, I think Sami's winning this all the way.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Sami Zayn's winning this as well. Randy Orton will be the other one that makes the most sense, but Priest to take the pinfall. I'm going to just carry on a little bit. You've just said that because I think WWE is planting a seed of a very long-term story here, and I think Sami Zayn will win here and get the number one contendership. Will go on to face Drew McIntyre in Saudi Arabia, which many people feel, oh, Sami will go and win the Rumble. Well, this takes him out of the Rumble, protects him, I suppose, in that way, and perhaps maybe fan backlash if he doesn't win it because he's going for a WWE Championship. He's going to lose on this occasion because the story is about Sami winning a world title, and of course, Triple H loves a long-term story. So this is, we can build onto this going to the rest of the year. Self-doubt from Sami, and can he get the job done? Perhaps maybe he could do a Daniel Bryan, win it and get Money in the Bank cashed in on him. Perhaps maybe it's the same night and stuff like that, just to play the story on. But I think Sami Zayn's crowning moment is going to be next year because WrestleMania is in Saudi Arabia next year. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to use the match of the Royal Rumble as the almost story arc for the next time Sami Zayn can go and try and win a world title in Saudi Arabia, because he didn't get the job done last time. He always seems to get these opportunities. He's a choke artist, according to Drew McIntyre. So I believe that when Sami Zayn eventually does get the job done at WrestleMania 43 and becomes a world champion, that's probably the place it's going to happen and do it. But here is almost that proving ground, because many people would say, oh, Sami's going there. He's got a great record in Saudi. He's going to win it. And actually, like you said there, I think he's going to lose, and they're going to use that as the storyline narrative that can help play out through the rest of the year. Sami's journey is just beginning now in the world title scene.
I think as well, you could actually technically have Sami in the Rumble as well, and almost have him fail on 2 counts on the same night. So have him lose his title shot, have him lose the Rumble match, and then spend, like you said, the next 12 to 14, 15 months building up to WrestleMania next year, where hopefully, you know, fingers crossed and touch wood and all that other stuff, KO could possibly be his opponent. Because I think that if Sami is going to win a world title, you really want it to be against KO, because it's kind of like their history alone, even back from NXT when KO powerbombed him on the apron when Sami when Sami was NXT champion. It's almost like the biggest story you could tell. What you do with Sami in the meantime till or if KO comes back is the biggest thing. I presume that obviously losing to Gunther, not Gunther, is it Gunther? No, is it Gunther? Yes. Whoever's champion they're going to face. And then possibly whoever eliminates him in the Rumble will be his story going forward. His match at Mania maybe, but we'll see.
We'll have to wait and see, indeed, and how they do it. And I'd love to see a Sami versus KO match next year. That makes so much sense in the world if they could pull that off. But yeah, I mean, it depends the position of the match, by the way, at the Royal Rumble. If Sami Zayn could be doing double duty on the night, lose the match and end up in the Rumble. And that way, if he loses against Drew, maybe he can get an early number or sort of early to mid number, go the whole distance, and then sort of be thrown out in the final 4. And then, like you say, you just can really play on that story from there. But yeah, time will tell how it'll go. But we both got Sami Zayn to pick up that dub. Indeed. We'll move on. In the meantime, just say hello to Noob, by the way. Noob's in the comments. Noob, thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. You've joined us at just the right time. The match that is probably you're most keen on, we're about to talk about. That's right, for the Women's Tag Team Championships on the line. Love the graphic for this, by the way. We've got Rhea Ripley and Io Sky taking on the Judgment Day, Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan winning a #1 contenders match to get this on a Raw. I believe that was in the show that took place not in Belfast. What was the previous week? Was in Dusseldorf in Germany. It was the one they had there, and of course they beat I think it was Bailey and Lyra along with the Kabuki Warriors in a triple threat tag team match to get this opportunity. Rhea and Io winning the titles against the Boogie Warriors in Brooklyn at the start of the year. Look, it's Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan reunited once again with all their previous history. I'm really excited for this tag team match. I love the dynamic they've got going with Liv and Roxanne. How Liv was not sure about Roxanne being in the Judgment Day. Now she sees her not just as the prodigy, but her prodigy. You know that's going to go sour somewhere further down the line. Rhea and Io have their story as well. Obviously, at some point, Rhea and Io need to revisit that in a singles match capacity. But at the same time, looking at it here, women's tag team champions, first proper title defense. It probably looks like it's a retained job here, but it will be exciting to see how it will play out, because let's not forget Raquel Rodriguez will probably be in the corner of Liv and Roxanne as well.
Yeah, I can't see this going any other way apart from a retain. I think this is just going to keep Rhea and Io busy till Mania. I think it's the way you get them on the card without having them in a title scene. And again, probably a match pushing towards Mania next year, having Rhea versus Io for a world title, where Rhea eventually picks up her win against her. But they're stacking that women's tag team division at the minute. And like I think I said it when we did WrestleMania predictions way too early. I went with like a fatal 4-way. I just think it's a great way to get 8 women on the card really quickly.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it'll be a great way to go about it, really, at this particular time. And do you believe then that Rhea and Io should be the champions for long term? Obviously, 2 of them have been previous world champions. Io had a phenomenal year last year as world champion, but the tag team scene feels like the right place for them for right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've got great chemistry. There's no reason to. There's no way to build it as well, because they kind of have baby faces, and at some point, probably Rhea is going to turn heel on Io, I would imagine. I mean, but then again, it has been a while since we've seen a really narcissistic heel Io, so it could go either way. So I think that the fact that that story goes like either way, it works out for me. So it's just a case of building the right momentum for it. Give them like 3 to 6 months, maybe give them till SummerSlam or something with those tag team titles before they lose them, possibly even longer. Do you know what I mean? If you want to really build a proper buddy best friends kind of vibe with them, I would say give them a run till like the end of the year. But those tag team titles really need to be hot potatoed at the minute. I think if you want some interest in it, you want people losing those titles and people winning those titles.
I feel that right now there's more depth in that tag team division than there's ever been, and I think not necessarily hot potato, but I think that you need to pass the titles around a little bit to give an opportunity to other people to, like you say, create interest for one, but also to help build storylines for another. Obviously, Rhea and Io, if they lose those titles on the road to WrestleMania, maybe it can still lead to a singles match. But we've got Liv and Roxanne to lose here. So the interesting thing is what happens with the Judgment Day after this. Is this a moment where Raquel will eventually get her opportunity, lose, and then perhaps maybe things go back into normal service? Let's say Roxanne and Raquel as the tag team, Liv going for the championship, say she wins a Royal Rumble hypothetically, or is this the start of the split of potentially maybe a triple threat match between Liv, Roxanne, and Raquel come WrestleMania?
I mean, possibly, but what's the angle? I think that's the major thing. And we've had Dom at the minute. Judgment Day just seems to be non-existent. Like, I can't remember the last time I saw JD, if I'm honest. And obviously, Balor coming out Monday. There you go. And then Balor coming out Monday on Raw to that is obviously his old music, hometown hero pop. I hope he gets the push that they say he's going to get this year. But I don't know. It just seems like, look, we've been talking about this group breaking up for like 3 years now, and it just never happens. So there's no point in, no harm in just waiting another year, because what do we want them to break up for? They're not exactly like in a position to create intrigue or interest apart from the women, and unless Liv or Roxanne ends up costing Raquel that women's title match, I don't know. I think there's no point in breaking what's like. Why try and fix what's not broken? Yeah,
I hear you. I mean, the thing is, Judgment has chopped and changed their members a number of times, obviously, throughout the history. Obviously, Edge, the first one, famously kicked out when Finn came in. We've had, obviously, Damien Priest leave the group, Rhea leave the group. Carlito was released. So, I mean, that kind of played into his not being involved with the group anymore. But, yeah, I mean, they've had different incarnations of the group at the Judgment Day, and it still remains strong, even if there's always been friction. But I do feel like the time could be coming for it. And I'd like to see a Finn Balor face turn after this Monday on Raw. And obviously, I've seen him in Copenhagen as well. He was not so heelish on that night against Jey Uso. And I think for the women, that the story is there.
Have you seen the post-match thing with Finn as well after Raw about talking to the crowd, getting the crowd to get sing his mum happy birthday? Like, oh my God. Talk about winning the hearts over of the crowd, man. That guy, honestly, if he's not babyface by the end of the year with a world title around his waist, they completely dropped the ball.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to start and see how it will all play out. But we have gone for a retain there for you. And we'll go on into the last match, which currently listed for Saturday night's main event is Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu, which, of course, Jacob Fatu inadvertently, potentially, cost Cody Rhodes the WWE Championship. I mean, obviously, it was the 3 stages of hell, steel cage match, the third fall. Jacob Fatu was coming for Drew McIntyre. Cody Rhodes broke it up because it was Cody's match, and it ended up being Jacob and Cody battling out. And whilst it was going on, Drew got out with the cage. So Drew ended up winning the WWE Championship. Cody has said that receipt is coming for Jacob Fatu, and Jacob Fatu did not hold back. He was quite happy to take that receipt and give some receipts of his own, it seemed, on SmackDown this past week, immediately getting this match sanctioned here for Saturday night's main event. Honestly, for me, I think this is a great direction for Cody Rhodes after losing the title because, for one, it keeps him interesting because this is an exciting matchup. Secondly, the two technically both baby faces. Is there going to be some heelish tendencies from one of these two in the match? There's a few things to be of interest with this one. And the last one is, I don't actually know which way this match is going to go.
I think if Cody is as ring savvy as you think he is, he's going to get booed because everyone wants that heel turn from him. And Jacob's going to get massively cheered. So Cody really does have to play the heel dynamic on this one. In terms of a result, I mean, it depends on what they're doing at Mania. And I can't see Cody not being in a title scene. So I think Cody has to get the win with this one. I mean, worst case scenario, have Drew interfere again. And do you know what I mean? Drew's got no reason to interfere, but you almost want him to interfere for the sake of giving this a screwy finish. Like, we've just seen Oba versus Cody, and that got a screwy finish. So why not do it here? I don't know. You've got someone who the people want to turn heel and someone who the crowd really loved in Fatu, and WWE just seemed to be terrified of taking Cody and turning him heel. Like, do you know when he first on the indies and he was wearing like that leather sort of aviator jacket? That's the Cody Rhodes I want to see. I don't want the American Nightmare in the red, white, and blue. I want black ring gear, aviator jacket, middle fingers to the crowd. It's not going to happen because obviously he's the face of the company. But you know, we all live on a prayer and a hope that we'll get that version of Cody in WWE.
Absolutely, indeed. For me, I think this match does scream a DQ finish, to be honest. It feels like it's the safest way of everyone getting out of this match with everyone being protected. But if I had to step my neck out on one person winning, I'm going for Cody Rhodes to pick up the win if it's a pinfall attempt. If not, I can see Cody being DQ'd. In the recent European tour, I believe it was the Poland show, it was him versus Drew McIntyre, and Cody was DQ'd.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, look, it's the safest bet. You protect Cody because, you know, Cody really can't take a loss. Jacob's just come back. I mean, look, I could see Cody winning it just on the fact that Jacob's just come back and he's not really got enough wins behind him to say a loss would do him any harm. So, and would losing to Cody be the worst thing? But yeah, I can see him doing a DQ finish.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. If you had to stick your neck out, what way are you going here?
I'm going to go Cody just because face of the company and they want him prominent for Mania, and I think he needs a win. He needs to win more than anything.
Makes sense. And obviously now we're going to go into the Rumble season as well. Do you see both being in the Rumble? Obviously Cody's already announced.
Depending on how the match finishes, really. I think if there's a story on that, because I know Cody's announced for the Rumble, but I think if you want to cause a bit of intrigue and maybe not make the Rumble win maybe as obvious, you keep Cody out of it. I don't know. I think the fact that you're going to get down to the last four and it's going to be like Roman, Cody, probably Sami, and I'm trying to think who else. Someone like
right now could be that one.
Jacob, or who did you say the other day that was the right Obafemi? The other could be the other, like, do you know what I mean? Down to them kind of like 4 or 5 people, and you've got some real sway going. Like, I mean, I would easily swap Jacob out at the minute for Oba because people would be interested, I think, in the fact that Oba could win it. And if you've got Oba, Sami, Roman, and Cody, that's 4 guys that everyone or someone in the crowd wants one of those people to win, and it's kind of the best split. So I don't know. It just, I think, like I said, I just think keeping Cody in the Rumble is probably more intriguing than anything else, but I wouldn't mind him not making the Rumble. I wouldn't miss it if I was honest.
No, I understand that entirely, but I've got a feeling Cody could be going the distance in this Rumble this year. I could see him being a number 1 or number 2 entrant and going all the way and not winning. I think it's, again, that way to protect him, but time will tell on how things will go on when it comes to that. But that's the 3 matches that have been announced. I will ask potentially other matches that could be added to the show. Obviously, we do have Wyatt 6 and MFTs with the tag team titles the night before in Montreal. Perhaps maybe a screwy finish could lead to maybe something the following evening. We've got Jordan Grace and Jade Cargill situation could lead to a title match here.
I would see Jordan Grace versus Jade Cargill. MFTs and Wyatt's like if anything screams a Friday Night SmackDown match, it's those factions at the minute, because they're not doing anything of any relevancy apart from arguing over those tag team titles. And I don't know, that tag team division just seems to be so underwhelming at the minute that it's like, what's the point? Like, Ciampa's leaving, so you got no more DIY. Can't remember the last time I saw Motor City Machine Guns, even if they're on SmackDown. Do you know what I mean? There's just so many tag teams on there. Fraxian, when was the last time I saw them? Haven't got a clue, so I can't see them making the card. Maybe something else, I don't know. Like, I honestly couldn't tell you. Like, I think you could probably throw any match together, and it'd probably be more entertaining than the MFTs versus Wyatt 6.
I have to say, it was probably my least favorite show of the match of the show. I still go back, but I will say something that really impressed me watching live was Tama Tonga. I think he's a really underrated wrestler.
Tama Tonga's. So we've got Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, and Tama Tonga's the first one that come in, wasn't it?
Yeah, Tama Tonga's.
Tama Tonga, Tama Tonga's. Tama Tonga's been fantastic since his New Japan days, and like, was clearly like, of all of that family, he was the one with the most talent. So you would expect him to have done something a hell of a lot more. And even when in New Japan, when Gorillas of Destiny kind of split up, he was starting to get a major push as a singles guy. So it's a shame that he's never really done anything. I mean, look, I'd love WWE to give him a run as an IC champ or something. I just can't see it in a minute unless, like I said, unless they give him a microphone and get him to show some character. He's just a background character at the minute.
Absolutely. No, I can understand that indeed. But we'll see if there are other matches that are added later in the day. We'll try and cover them. I'll usually do a short, very much towards the day of or the day before. So perhaps maybe look out for something like that, I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Saturday night's main event covered. We'll be giving you a little bit of an update on the channel, as I mentioned, coming up very, very soon. However, I thought we'd just quickly dive into a couple of moments of Monday Night Raw. If anyone wants to dive in with any questions that are watching live, they can feel free to do so. But if not, of course, they can listen to us just talk for about 5 to 10 minutes, I would say, because that's probably how long we'll probably cover it for. Obviously, we talked about Finn Balor and CM Punk already, but heck of a main event with those two. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, honestly, when you've got that crowd behind Finn Balor, it's really hard to be one-sided when it's CM Punk as well. And the crowd were phenomenal. Like, honestly, even when there was a moment earlier on the night as well when they was it Logan Paul and Austin Theory, I think, were in a tag match. I think it was a 6-man tag, I believe, if I'm correct.
Bronson.
And they were singing... So they were singing some song, but they were saying Logan Paul can't go to Japan. I was like, what a crowd! They were phenomenal. Like last night, they were great. Yeah, honestly, solid crowd, solid show. You kind of almost wanted Finn to win it alone and just from the crowd reaction, but it was great, man. And yeah, great main event. Solid. I mean, the European tours are always solid shows. You can never go wrong with the crowd. The crowd's always on point. And yeah, it's just a shame that obviously we only get it like 2, maybe 3 times a year. So yeah, but otherwise, fantastic main event, fantastic show.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the thing is as well, we'll talk more about the European tour in a couple of moments, but like the Gunther AJ Styles stuff to kick off the show as well was brilliant for me. I love the fact that Gunther not accepting AJ Styles' offers of matches. He'd already declared himself for the Rumble. He's like, look, don't really fancy doing double duty. I've got nothing to prove. I've proved I'm a more intelligent wrestler than you when it comes to this. I'm now the superior pro wrestler when it comes to us in the ring. And AJ said, look, I really want to do this one more time. And he said, well, actually, maybe there's one incentive. Put your career on the line. And he told AJ to think about it throughout the entire evening. AJ did, spoke to his wife, and his wife said what he was thinking, which was go and kick his ass. So, yeah, AJ versus Gunther is happening at the Royal Rumble. AJ Styles' career is on the line. Now, we have learned that this is the final year of AJ Styles. We don't have a definitive end date like we did with John Cena. Could it really end at the Royal Rumble that early?
I mean, look, you want shock and awe, why not? But I think his wife's screwing him over, if I'm honestly. She's like, she's had enough of being home all the time, and she's like, what, your career's on the line? Of course you should do it. She's put up with it for like 20 years, however long they've been married, I don't know. But yeah, if it's a case of you're going to be here all the time to help raise your kids, put your career on the line, AJ. But yeah, I would hope not, because my God, what is it with people retiring not on the grandest stage of them all? If he's going to go out, it should be at WrestleMania, and it should be like he can't go out without facing Finn Balor yet either. That's impossible. Well, there's no way we're not getting that at some point this year, because I have been screaming for a rivalry or a feud or a story with those two for years, and how you could not have done one. Again, another missed opportunity if we do not get it.
Time will tell. I mean, the thing is as well, I can't help but think to myself, surely there's that TNA match still with AJ and maybe a TNA run. Surely there's a last time in Georgia. You would imagine he would have another match in Georgia. So,
I mean, technically, does he like put his career on the line and then go to TNA and ends up wrestling in TNA for a couple of months? Then we get Gunther versus AJ as TNA champion or something? I don't know.
He could work it around. It could be his WWE career, or is it he has to retire? We'll have to wait and see how the fine details work out. But something tells me that AJ might find a way to pull through it. But time will tell. Time will tell, I guess. Yeah. European tour. Do you think it's been a success? I think it's really livened up on SmackDown last couple of weeks.
Always a success. The crowds they're always, like I said, they're always fantastic. They're always on point, and especially when you've got the likes of Gunther wrestling in Dusseldorf and you've got Finn wrestling in... I mean, I tell you what as well, Becky getting a heel reaction in Belfast was a shocker as well. I was like, was not expecting that, local town hero, but damn, like, I guess Belfast do not care, but damn, it was good to see. But yeah, always the best crowds, man. And, do you know the greatest pride I take with being part of the European crowd? Is no one used to sing along to Cody's music or Randy's until the European crowd started doing it, and now it's a thing every week. And they'll start singing Kit Wilson's, they'll start singing whatever, but that started with the European tours, man. We established that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Kit Wilson had probably the reaction of his life on SmackDown this past week. And yeah, I think it's going to carry on now the way it's going through. He's getting over and his music's getting over. So yeah, long may that continue. I got to say, I think it's been brilliant. I thought Berlin show was fantastic, in particular, watching that SmackDown, the 3 stages of hell. Actually getting a title change as well was pretty awesome. It's only the 6th time, I think, in SmackDown history that it's happened. So that's pretty special in itself. Raw has been fun with the Belfast
show. Was pretty good.
Yeah, it was indeed good times. Dusseldorf as well, I thought was a good, interesting one. For me, had a bit of a special feeling. This was 24 hours after I'd seen the show in Copenhagen, which I thought was a really fun house show, by the way. Not really discussed it too much on the last Q&A, so just quickly breeze through it quickly. I mean, we had Jey Uso and Finn Balor, which has pretty much gone viral at this point across all the social media platforms, with Finn Balor yeeting, the referee yeeting as well. It was a yeet fest. I mean, the music must have played about 6 times during the match, and the match itself wasn't very long when it got going, but still, Jey picking up the win was good fun. Liv Morgan beat Lyra Valkyria on the show, which they did the classic numbers advantage with the Judgment Day. Of course, the referee throwing Roxanne and Raquel out the ringside area was always said it was going to happen. It was fun, but Liv then picking up the win with Oblivion. We had obviously Drew McIntyre having his first show, one of his first showings as WWE champion, beating Shinsuke Nakamura, which, let's be fair, just hear Shin's music live is never a bad thing, and the match was pretty solid as well. Alexa Bliss beat Kairi Sane in the singles match, which was that was a fine match between those two. I think it was meant to be a tag team match advertised. Charlotte Flair was reportedly unwell on the SmackDown, so I wonder if that's why that tag team match didn't happen in the end. But yeah, one little fun sort of house show spot, by the way. Kairi Sane using the umbrella in a number of spots when the referee wasn't looking. Yeah, it was quite creative and quite fun the way that it was done. Sami Zayn versus Gunther. I mean, come on, just brilliant match between those two. You know, in ring that's going to be awesome. Sami was really over on the show as well. New Day versus Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. They did the thing. You know, the thing where Kofi comes off the ring apron. AJ catches for the Styles Clash. Magic. White 6 versus MFT's 8-man tag team match. Standard. It was all right. It wasn't anything too special, but the Whites picked up the victory. Most entertaining thing for me in that match was watching Nikki Cross run around, chasing Byron Saxton after the match, literally run around the ring about 4 or 5 times, which was hilarious to watch. And the main event was CM Punk versus Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed had said that he knew nothing about Denmark. He didn't even care to be there, but CM Punk did find a way to retain his championship. Superplex off the top rope was the finisher, which was kind of creative and also kind of smart because of the fact that he couldn't pick him up for the GTS. So yeah, it kind of worked.
Yeah, fair enough. Bit of a weird one, but sure. But I mean, why was Byron Saxton there? They don't have commentary at house shows.
So he was the host and live announcer. So he was doing all the matches.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, okay. Never knew that before. Yeah, because I was going to say, I can't imagine there was like announcers tables set up and stuff. So.
No, I got to say though, he was brilliant on the night. Really, like he hyped up the crowd really well before the show, saying it was the first time in 9 years Copenhagen had got a show and stuff, and like, you know, really let's make the most of it. Let's all get loud and stuff like that. He was talking to members of audience as well during the show, and just announced in general. Like, I just thought we saw a bit of a different side to Byron, very relaxed. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant.
Fair, it's probably more. That's the house. That's probably makes the house specials really special, because you imagine when you go to a TV show, you don't get none of that. Like, I know at the minute they're doing the whole like, let's look at the signs of the night thing. It's like, I'm sorry, when did we cross over to the NFL, or do you know what I mean? Like there's other sports that do that, but yeah, otherwise you like that's the biggest thing you notice when you go to like a Monday night or Friday night taping, is that no commentary. So he's just sitting in silence. You haven't got a clue what they're talking about, and they're obviously trying to do their production and their TV broadcast, and you're just sitting there like, you're sitting there for 3 minutes wondering why Lyra Valkyria still hasn't come out, and you're still listening to Becky Lynch's music, and you're like, what is going on? It's just because they're obviously trying to do narrative and story and stuff, or promos, or just, I don't know, advertise something, and it's just the one thing that really takes away from the TV shows. But yeah, I mean, like I said, house shows, Byron Saxton of all people, hell man, I'd take it.
Absolutely, all day long. It was a really fun show, I got to say. Like, just as a night out in general to go and see a WWE show live, you don't really have it on the doorstep as well. Not got to travel internationally for it. Well, technically, I did. Had to cross the bridge to Denmark, but still, it's might as well be home turf for me at this point. And I hope that it's not another 9 years till they give it another go in Copenhagen. It was a good old time. And obviously, Raw has been announced for June 22nd at the O2 Arena in London, so they will be coming back across the pond in June. So hopefully it links with maybe some more European shows. Maybe there will be a PLE. I'd imagine if it was going to be UK or England, I would imagine they would have got the SmackDown, not the Raw. So yeah, we'll see. I've got a feeling
it's probably going to be the whole three. It's probably going to be the Friday, the Saturday, and the Monday.
Possibly. We'll have to wait and see when WWE makes their announcements, because it'll be.
Oh, the only thing I can think is that the pay-per-view and the SmackDown won't be in London. They'll be in like Manchester or Newcastle or somewhere like that. Because you know what they'll normally do is they'll bundle up the tickets, and you'll have to buy the pay-per-view and the Friday Night SmackDown ticket together, which is why the Raw will probably be in London, but the pay-per-view will not.
Sounds interesting. It sounds quite logical as well. Could quite be a possibility. So, we're going to have one little announcement just quickly to finish off the video. So, today is the 10-year anniversary of the channel. Tomorrow is the 10-year anniversary of the first video. There will be a massive announcement on that video that will change this channel for good. Things will not be the same.
I'm
on
leaving.
This channel. You're not going anywhere. You're signed to at least a few-year contract.
He's got me cuffed under the table, really. Like my ankle is attached to a ball and chain.
We say we're international. He's actually in the next room. That's how we do this, you know. We might as well make a studio and be together. But no, serious note though. There's going to be some big changes in 2026, and I will be announcing all of that on video to be released tomorrow. I think personally it deserves its own video rather than being at the back end of a Saturday Night's Main Event prediction stream. So, Nick Steve, it's time for me to fill you in. Like, share, and subscribe, everybody. And we will see you tomorrow where you can see what's happening on this channel starting this year. And just before we leave, Eric Douglas, thank you so much. And same to Mike as well. Appreciate the love from everyone, and hope everyone enjoys the rest of your day. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.